Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little fella right here, Black Skull Island. It is designed by Luigi Ferrini, and it's put out by Strawberry Studios, which is the really light, family weight line of games that NSKN puts out. So this is something that, this is a line of games that I've really kind of not really fell in love with, but I'm pretty enamored with it because of the ease in which they can be taught and played, and a wide age of people can play them and enjoy them. I haven't liked all of them, but I'm definitely, when they come up with another one, I'm interested to play it and to find out if I like it or not. So maybe that's a little bit too much, but let's go ahead and get into how you play the game, and then we'll come back with some final thoughts in just a few moments. So let's get to it. Now, in a game of Black Skull Island, each player is going to first of all start the game with one treasure card and then two character reference cards so that they can see the abilities of the different characters that are going to be in the game. Then a number of character cards are taken out of the character deck depending upon the number of players that are in the game, and then each player is given two character cards with the remaining card going face up here as a removed character. Once each player has their character hand of two cards, they will be able to choose one of them and place it face down simultaneously. Once all of the players have their two character cards in their hand, they will be able to choose one of them and play it face down in front of them. Once everyone has chosen a character, they're all flipped over simultaneously. And then each character's ability is carried out in number order, starting with the lowest and proceeding to the highest numbered character. So in this particular case, the Pirate King has an order number of 1, which means that he'll be going first, and then after that, the Boatswain will be going, followed by the Quartermaster, and then the Mate. So the Pirate King here says, draw one treasure, then cover another face-up card. The owner draws one coin. Covering a card means that you're going to flip it over, so that's a pretty powerful ability, but the caveat is that the owner of the card will be able to draw one coin, so they won't leave the round empty-handed. If a character's ability tells you to take from the coin pile, you take from here. If he tells you to take from the treasure pile, you take it from there. So the Pirate King says draw one treasure, which he will take it. And so as you can see, that was a lucrative card for him to draw there. And then he says cover another face-up card, and that player gets to draw one coin. We're going to go ahead and choose the Quartermaster because the Quartermaster here has a pretty powerful ability. He says draw one coin, then exchange the Quartermaster with another face-up card. So what the Quartermaster could do is on his turn, go through his ability, draw a coin, and then switch with the Mate, which means that he will be able to go again. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to go ahead and have him deactivate, but the Quartermaster's owner does get to draw a coin card and add it to his tableau. After the Pirate King is finished, we go to the next lowest number, which is the Boatswain over here. And the Boatswain says draw one treasure card, so we go ahead and draw one of those. Not as lucrative, but still good. And it says then choose one of your booty and exchange it with a random booty from another player. Well, we're going to go ahead and look at these two cards. These are the booty cards that we have in our hand right now. We're going to go ahead and try to exchange this one because we want to keep that. And let's see. We're going to go, we know that this person has two coins, so we're not going to go with that. But this person over here, the Pirate King, was able to draw a treasure card, so we're going to try to exchange one of those. We don't know which one it is, blah, 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 blah. All right, so we're going to choose one. We'll choose this one. This goes back over here, of course, as well with this one. Did we go? We didn't do well. Oh, well. And now that the Boatswain is done, we go to the next highest, which would have been, the next lowest, which would have been the Quartermaster, but he's been deactivated. So we go to the Mate. And the Mate says, if the Mate is the last acting character, draw one treasure. Well, he is going to be the last acting character, but what happens if we don't? Otherwise, each player must pass a card from their hand to the right. Well, that would be the caveat if he wasn't the last one to go, but he is. So he's just going to draw a treasure card. Oh, that's not good. So that goes right underneath there like that. These characters will then go back up into the hands of their owners, and then their owners will choose another character for the next round. And then the next round is played in the very same fashion with those characters being flipped over simultaneously that have been chosen by their owners, and then carried out in number order. So the Pirate King goes first, and he's going to draw another treasure card and then add that to his tableau. And then he's going to flip another person over. And let's see here. We don't like the idea of the Boatswain being able to choose a card from our hand. So we're going to go ahead and deactivate him. And the Boatswain gets a coin card for that. So the next lowest character is now the Cutthroat. The Cutthroat says draw 1 coin. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then exchange another card on the table with the removed card. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and exchange this one with this one. And that's all that really happens here. Nothing else goes on. And now the next lowest one is the Siren, which says choose a card face up, face down, in hand, or removed. Exchange it with the Siren and resolve its action immediately. So we're kind of interested in what this one is here. So we're going to go ahead and reveal it, exchange it with the Siren, and it says immediately activate that person's character's power. So it says take 1 random booty from from 2 different players, the cabin boy here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a random card from this one over here because we know there's possibly a pretty good juicy card in here. So we're going to take a random card from that one. We'll take a random card from these guys over here as well, because maybe he's got a pretty nice treasure card in there too. So there we go. And how did that work out for us? Woohoo! Now at the end of each round, you have to check to see if the game is going to end and if somebody has won. The game ends when 1 player or more has gotten 7 or more treasure cards in their tableau. And then, if that is the case, then we flip them over, we count up the number of coins that are on the cards that you have in front of you, and whoever has the most coins is the winner. So that's about that for Black Skull Island. Now, as we usually say with all of these reviews, that's not a completely comprehensive look at the game. I didn't show you every single character and how every situation that could arise from each of the different characters being played and all that kind of stuff. I just gave you a basic idea of how it works and hopefully a good feel with how the game plays. So with all that having been said, let's go ahead and get into my pros and cons. The first pro is this line of games. I'm really enjoying this line of games. And again, as I said earlier in the video, I don't like all of them. There have been a couple that kind of soured me a little bit, but this is one of the ones that's really fun and I do enjoy it a lot. It's not hard at all. This is feather light. It could blow away, it's so light. So it's not a brain burner. This is absolutely a filler game where this is kind of just like a break for your brain. As a matter of fact, the most recent time I played this game, it was in between a game of Robin Hood the Merry Men, which is a pretty rules-intensive, heavy game, and then Gugong. So understandably, it was a great breather, and we actually played it a couple of times in one sitting because it does play so fast. So good pro is that this line of games really does have some really good games in it. The second pro for me is that the artwork, while it wasn't beautiful or elegant or something like that, it was very well done, and I like that about the games. Additionally, kind of in the same vein, the graphic design of the cards was also not distracting. Sometimes there can be so much iconography, or the font of the wording of the text is too weird, or it's not big enough, the font isn't big enough, whatever it might be. All of the design choices that went into the cards were very well done, in my opinion. It was very clear what order number it was, and the text was large enough, and the font that they chose was blocky enough to where it wasn't difficult to read any of the words there. So I think that they did a great job with the artwork and the graphic design of the game. So that's another pro. A third pro for me is that the gameplay is intuitive and it is familiar. Sometimes when you get into some of these games that are trying to be innovative, or they're trying to push the envelope or something like that, they can become confusing and just kind of leave their players going, what am I doing? That's just simply not the case here. It's very simple. You only have 2 cards to choose from. You play one of them face down. After everybody's done that, you reveal it and you fire off your characters in numerical order. Not difficult at all. And even you're just trying to get the most loot. So it's all just very familiar. But at the same time, while it doesn't seem fresh, it's still fun, and it's another way for you to play some of these familiar mechanisms that you've encountered before in a slightly different way. This is the kind of filler games that I really do enjoy because the rule books are so easy to read. They're structured well. They aren't difficult to understand with weird wording and weird terminology or anything like that. And the game plays lightning fast. We're talking 20 to 30 minutes tops. I mean, if you're playing 30 minutes, you've got some real heavy hitters going at it because this is really probably a 15-20 minute game at most. 30 minutes being the extreme, I would imagine. So I really do enjoy the game, and I think it's great. Now, as far as cons are concerned, I'll simply mention the one con that I could possibly fathom that somebody would have, and that is simply that it's not going to be meant for everybody. There are people that just abhor filler games and they want something to sink their teeth into, and that's just not what this game is. But I played this with a couple of people that love those meaty Euros, those heavy, I want to sink my teeth into all these mechanisms that are floating around. And they had a good time. And there are enough choices here. You can try to count the cards. You can try to see which cards are in the deck because you have those character reference sheets in front of you. And you can kind of deduce what is that removed card that's in the middle of the table that nobody has available to us. I can probably know what Bob over here has in his hand based on what everybody else has played and what he's played. And so there is that level of engagement that you can take with this game, but you also don't have to. And that's what makes it great, in my opinion. So the caveat is, the con, I guess, is that it's not going to be for everybody, but it could be. So with all that having been said, I'm going to give this one, as far as a filler game is concerned, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this is the kind of filler game that I enjoy. There aren't any quirky rules. There aren't any slight convolutions that are hard to wrap your head around at first. This is just very straightforward and fun. And that's what I'm looking for in a filler game. I want a break from all of the brain-burning activity that I'm doing in the other games, whether it's, a heavier Amerithrash like TI4, or it's, something else like Gugong or Robin Hood or whatever it might be. It gives you a break, but it doesn't give you a break from fun. And that's great for a filler game to do. So that's it from me for Black Skull Island, 8 out of 10. And I want to thank you for joining me here. Hopefully it's been informative and enjoyable. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care now.